Thanks for joining us here in Geneva for AI for Good Global Summit 2024, where I'm delighted to be joined by Costi Perricos, Global Generative AI Leader at Deloitte. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm delighted to be here, Charlotte.
So what would you like the outcome of this year's AI for Good Global Summit to be? What would success look like, according to you?
Well, as you know, AI, and particularly generative AI, has the potential to unlock huge sort of advancements in humanity and to improve us as humans. But only really if we can do that in a way that is trustworthy and manages the risks, and I think is done in a way that is consistent across the world.
So, Costi, you have done a lot of work around using AI and generative AI in particular, this new form of AI we are now growing very much used to. It's really permeated every aspect of our daily lives.
Indeed.
So how can we use them for benefits in the realm of business or society?
Well, I think the possibilities are nearly endless, and I hear about new ones every day. I mean, you only have to walk outside of this fabulous conference in the hall to see just how many of the UN strategic goals can be enhanced by AI. You know, in business, it is clearly transforming business. Any business that has anything to do with knowledge work, I think, has almost an existential crisis in terms of really thinking about how this technology can improve life for its workers, its customers, and its stakeholders. But I think we are, where we're seeing some really incredible advances isn't some of humanity's biggest problems. Climate change, using these algorithms to be able to, for example, predict weather patterns and predict catastrophes much quicker than existing models. Biology, what we've seen with protein folding has really transformed the field of biology. And interestingly enough, I was talking to biologists the other day, because we now don't need to study these proteins for, endless years and hours as part of PhDs. It's unlocked 1 billion hours of PhD time, which I thought was incredible. And of course, mental health and health, huge use cases where people in, the current mental health crisis that we're seeing in many governments and many nations are turning to this technology to get help, and it's being really effective.
Costi, since you mentioned that GenAI would be a game changer, especially in the knowledge industry to which Deloitte belongs.
Of course.
Tell us how it's impacting your business, and tell us more generally how it's impacting the workforce and skills, and how we can equip young people with the right skills to use it for good in business and society.
I think that is a great point. And actually, I run the Office of Generative AI, which has two objectives. One is to help our clients transform and also help wider society use these tools better, but also to help our own organization transform. And what we're finding actually is some of the biggest barriers to transformation are not technological, Charlotte, they're human and data, but that is almost a subject for itself. And what we're finding is that trust becomes really important. So what we did is very early on, we didn't ban the use of these tools. We put some guardrails in place as to what people should put into these open tools and what they shouldn't. And then we developed their own platform. And we now have over 200,000 of our employees, mostly our younger ones, right? The Gen Zs that are so curious and so eager using it. And what we're finding is that, if you empower them, if you provide the right amount of training, but importantly as leaders, if we encourage them and we also lead by examples, we are seeing such a huge increase in the understanding and fluency around these tools, but also a huge increase in the innovation that's coming from particularly our younger employees.
So what are the recent developments in AI you are most enthusiastic about? And why does it hold so much promise, according to you?
Well, it's an interesting question, and if you ask me that, you'll get a different answer every week, right? Because things are advancing so quickly, Charlotte. But I think for me at the moment, it's the whole idea of multimodality and anthropomorphism that comes with that. So being able to not only type, which has been pretty much sort of the main way of interacting with these models, but actually being able to talk to them and getting responses back that are very human, voices that are incredibly human, not robotic, have intonations, and it really feels like you're having a conversation. And so for some of the use cases that I've spoken about, for example, mental health use cases where people want some counseling, I think that holds really great promise. And so for me, to answer your question, I don't see this just as an inflection point in technology. I see this as an inflection point in humanity. And if we can really work together to use this AI technology for good, I think we're going to see incredible advancements in humanities in the next few years.
Costi, to conclude with, the key to unlock the power of AI, it's trust?
I would say absolutely. Without trust, there is no advancement in humanity, I believe.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Costi Perricos, Global GenAI Leader at Deloitte. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more AI for Good Global Summit 2024 interviews.